Kansas State football has produced some good quarterbacks over the years, starting with guys like Josh Freeman, Colin Klein, and more recently Skylar Thompson. While none of these guys had a ton of NFL success outside of Josh, the coaching staff that is in Manhattan, Kansas has produced a lot of NFL names. Guys such as Carson Wentz, Easton Stick, and more recently Trey Lance were all at one point coached under the current Kansas State coaching staff, and once Skylar Thompson leaves, they will need a new man to take up the quarterback position. Luckily for them, they signed arguably the biggest quarterback recruit in school history in their 2021 class, and he is currently a freshman. Expectations for him are through the roof. He is the future of Kansas State football, and he is going to be a name that all college football fans will need to know. His name is Jake Rubley, and in today's video, we're not only going to get to talk about his story, but we're going to get to talk to him. I'm really excited to announce that he is going to be on the channel today to tell his story, and we are going to meet the future of Kansas State football. So without further ado, let's get started. For time's sakes on today's video, I ended up cutting his story a little bit, but if you want to hear my full interview with him, be sure to check out the link that I have pinned down in the comment section, as I just brought him onto my podcast, and I'd appreciate if you guys would follow that and support that. So let's welcome Jake onto the channel.
What up, guys? My name's Jake Rubley. I play quarterback at Kansas State. I'm a freshman. I was a 4-star recruit in high school, and I just appreciate you guys subscribe to Scott's channel and help him out. Yeah. Okay. So I guess my career started from my dad. When I grew up in Iowa, he had 6 brothers. All played football, huge competitive family, great athletes. My dad, he really good football player, went to Tulsa University, then played really well there, and then got a chance to play in the NFL. So he played in the NFL for 5 seasons, and then he ended up in Denver. So he had me, and then my 2 older brothers and my little brother, and he coached us all as quarterbacks from day one. First, I don't even remember the first time I picked up a football and started throwing it. I was that little. So that's basically from my dad. He taught me everything I'd known playing quarterback, and it started at such a young age. The first time I played competitive football was flag football, like when I was 6 years old. I really found the love of the game when I was about 9 or 10, when I was ball boy for my older brothers, like high school teams, like running around on the field, a bunch of high school kids. Unbelievable experience. Once I kind of went through youth football in middle school, and then it kind of came to where I wanted to, choose where I want to go to high school. So I chose to go to a local public school, just play with my hometown friends that I grew up with. I just wanted to go try to win a state championship with them, and it was a blast. And then freshman year, I actually got hurt, very big hand injury. Yeah, well, so freshman year, I was a starter on varsity. After our second game, we were in the weight room and I was doing push-ups, and then a weight fell on my hand, and I jacked up these 2 fingers pretty good. Basically, they got cut off, only thing connecting was skin. Had 5 surgeries. So it took me 6 months to recover from that. And I actually got invited to play in an All-American game. So that was crazy that I got back in time. I think it was a week after I was cleared, I was playing in an All-American game, which is nuts. So then sophomore year, I think it was May of my freshman year, actually was when I picked up my first scholarship offer from South Carolina University. They came out, watched me through, and he offered me on spot basically. And that was kind of when really my recruiting really picked up. After that, it was kind of just a waterfall effect, a bunch of schools trying to jump on. And it was really before I even played a varsity game, which is nuts. But so I went into my sophomore year, just playing with my friends, and we had a great season. We came close. We lost in the 3rd round of playoffs, but we were a pretty good team. And scholarship offers at this point were just rolling in. It was crazy. There was a time after my sophomore season, I didn't even go to class. There was just coaches coming in like every day for about 3 weeks that I just didn't go to class because there was just coach after coach after coach, which is absolutely nuts. And basically, like, what my recruiting was like, I went to camps all the time during the summers and visits. I was never really home during the summers either, sophomore going into junior year. And so I knew I wanted to commit going into my senior year, January 1st. So I just slowly kind of narrowed down schools that I wanted to visit. And it came down to LSU, CU, and Kansas State. All these schools were, they kind of bred what I wanted to be a part of, that family mentality and great history programs. And CU and Kansas State had kind of an upper advantage because they were close to home, which I wanted to be very close to home. But LSU was just so amazing in everything they do. So it was hard to choose between the 3. On January 1st, I committed to Kansas State. And it was an unbelievable experience. Probably one of the hardest decisions I've made in my life, but never regret it ever since. It's been unbelievable so far. Yeah, so then that was going into my senior season. And then COVID happened, and then COVID jacked everything up, which Colorado, they canceled the season. So knowing me, I want to play. Like, I want to be competitive in everything I do. I love the game too much to not play. And my dad grew up in Iowa, like I said earlier. So he had some family friends in Iowa. So I actually transferred to West Des Moines Valley High School in Iowa. And that was a wild experience, leaving my friends that I've known since I was, 9 or 10 years old, to go play in a foreign state with brand new people, like 3 weeks before their season started. It was nuts. So I transferred there. I got to play 3 games. Then they called me for a legal move. Crazy story with that. Nuts. So they actually ended up making me ineligible, making him eligible for the rest of the season. So I was stuck in Iowa. Only got to play 3 games. I was living in an apartment just in a foreign town for my last season, my last semester in high school, which is crazy. Then I ended up, graduating early and going to Kansas State. Been there ever since, and I love every moment of it. So it's been a wild ride.
So yeah, that is Jake's story from his own words. And if you want to support him or me, please be sure to hit that like button, follow him on social media, and check out that podcast. I want to be doing a lot of this on the channel moving forwards, and I'm already in contact with a ton of guys. So if you want to see more of this, please be sure to show your support with that like button, as that will let me know what you guys think of this concept. So now let's talk about why he is so hyped up. So yeah, Jake Rubley was the son of an NFL player, had a spectacular high school football career, and according to 24/7 Sports, was a 4-star recruit, the number 21 quarterback, and the 199th best player in the class of 2021. Unless you are familiar with the Kansas State program, then you probably don't know that he is the 2nd highest rated quarterback to ever commit to the Wildcats. The highest rated guy was Josh Freeman, who was basically a consensus top 100 player, and as we all know, eventually was an NFL player. Rubley's commitment is still very impressive though, and it is the biggest commitment in nearly 15 years. Chris Kleiman and the staff have a great young player to work with. They have a great track record with other guys, and Rubley seems to have the attitude and work ethic to actually make it big in the college football world. At 6'3", he has the ideal size for a quarterback, and with a super senior like Skylar Thompson mentoring him, he's going to be able to learn all the tricks, the Kansas State offense, and everything he needs to do to be a high-level player. When I asked him about how he was going to handle the high expectations, he said he was very excited and the fan base was very supportive of him. Some quarterbacks crack under high pressure, but it seems like Jake is a guy who thrives in that position, and he is driven to not only be a great player on the field, but to be a great person off the field as well, and that's what you need out of your star quarterback and your leader. I'm really excited to see what Jake can do with the Kansas State program, and he's one of those guys who is just next up in the college football world. While Will Howard has some starting experience on the roster, I do believe Jake will eventually win that job, as he is the more talented guy, and it's just a matter of time before we see him putting up big numbers. Kansas State is one of the most consistent programs in college football, and they may not make the college football playoff every year, but they consistently win big games, have seemingly had Oklahoma's number the past 2 years, and Jake's goal is to win a Big 12 championship, so let's see if he and the program can do it. Be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Check out the full interview on Spotify, as I have pinned the link to that in the comment section. Let me know if there's another player you want me to reach out to. Subscribe if you are new here. Hit that like button if you want to support this concept, and check out all my other videos on the end screen, including my other videos in this series. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.